I think a spicy counter pick, something like that, might be your best shot at actually taking down 100 Thieves.
No, I 100% agree. If you're coming in as an Academy squad against one of the top LCS squads, the expectation is that you lose and you get slammed. So you can't play traditionally. If traditional play is going to get you screwed, you have to think outside the box. You got to come up with something spicy for us. But if you want spicy, let's go the exact opposite. It's first pick Azir for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, Abbeddage has been looking really good on it, though. Had a great game last week on his Azir. The week before, the Sylas game, those two really stood out to me. Abbeddage has been stepping up big time. Was not looking as strong in the earlier weeks of the split, but is really back on form here. Gnar going to be picked up there for Hoon early on. So not going to be any sort of like a fifth pick red top lane counter pick. So I'll be interested to see where they want to take us here. They do have the answer obviously to mid already, so they could save fifth pick for something like support,
right,
or jungle even, like we saw Fudge talking about how they felt like Blabber's Olaf was worth actually holding fifth pick for because of those kind of situations that you're looking for. Yuumi is banned out, but we do get Zeri, so again, could be a similar pairing to what we saw last time. It's actually the same AD matchup as we got last game.
Yep.
And Sylas coming through. So this is going to be a Sylas top, almost guaranteed here for Ssumday.
Yeah.
Sylas into Gnar is statistically like one of the most advantageous matchups for Sylas in the entire game. Because Mega Gnar is such a powerful ult to steal. It's not conditional on Sylas, whereas Mega Gnar...
he just gets to use it.
Exactly. Gnar has to time it out with the Gnar bar. You can only use it when you're Mega Gnar. People back off. If you steal the Mega Gnar ult, you can use that at any time. And the AP ratios on it are massive. So it is ultra powerful to be able to take that away.
And that's one of the things to always remember about Sylas, right? Because so many ults in the game, we recognize for their utility. We recognize for their effect, but not necessarily their damage. And those often have these really high ratios on them. So if you do have a little AP, it still feels impactful. But man, when you've got a full, powerful bruiser mage building these items that are going to give you more AP and really supplement those ultis, they are scary. Dignitas going to round out the first half of their draft with an Ahri pick here for the mid lane. So that means we still need to see support and jungle from both sides here.
Yeah, so throwing down the Lee Sin ban, targeting closer there a little bit. They could try to thin the pool with some junglers that they're not going to pick, then take their jungler on 4 here if they want.
Yeah.
To really try to push closer down somewhat. Viego is already banned out. Lee Sin is banned out. Wukong is the big one that he has been playing the most of. Yeah, Poppy has also been taken off. If you want to try to target closer, I don't think you want to give him that Wukong because it is tied for his most played.
Right.
Of course, there's so many options. You can't really eliminate everything for jungle. Like people are playing Trundle, Volley, you can go Xin. We just saw an Olaf game. There's still Wukong. So there are a lot of options, but I do think trimming the pool somewhat does make sense.
So would you say if Dig don't ban Wukong here, you need to pick it on 4?
That's what I think.
Okay.
I mean, it just seems like unless they have some sort of a specific, kind of option for it, if they're not really worried about it. If you're trying to target closer and target some of that comfort, then I do think taking the Wukong away makes a lot of sense. Wukong also just works really well with what this composition is already kind of doing. Like Sylas, Sivir, you speed them up, you run in, right? You're looking for that sort of a play. I do think the combo of the stolen Gnar plus Wukong is very, very deadly. So kind of expecting that Spawn will grab it up here on 4 if it is still available.
Last ban for the side of 100 Thieves.
Oh, they
banned the Wukong themselves.
So they're expecting that Spawn would take it then.
Yeah.
Right? To me, that's the read, is that they're saying, okay, well, we don't want to give it over. You're not going to give it to us anyway. Spawn would take it here. So that does mean additional jungle bans coming through. You are going to be pushed down to more of those kind of niche style picks. And we'll see what XU does have ready for us with that.
Jungle or support, which one will it be? I would expect them to pick support last. Maybe not, but then again, last game we saw Cloud9 leave the jungle pick for the last open spot. The Olaf ended up coming in for a bit of a surprise factor, completely took over the game. Maybe Dignitas has an ace up their sleeves as well.
So, I mean, when you're talking about XU and his picks, some of those kind of conditional picks that he might be thinking about, Kindred and Bel'Veth, right? So he's actually 3-0 on Bel'Veth from his Academy games. He's 2-1 on the Kindred so far this split. So those are the ones that are not banned out alongside one game on the Trundle. Trundle, though, potentially going to be grabbed up here by Closer. Very, very standard stuff. Kindred is actually very good into Trundle. It would be kind of cool to see if he went towards that because you can actually hop over the pillar. It's pretty easy to actually kite out.
Yeah.
And it would be fun to see like a Bel'Veth or something like that. So I'm curious to see what XU has for us.
What's the last pick going to be here for 100 Thieves? They know they're up against Rakan and Zeri. They're in the bottom lane. Yeah, currently there's not a whole lot, right? Like you might be able to get a flank with Azir.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, okay, so Alistar picked up here from 100 Thieves, going to give him some powerful engage and a main tank in the middle of the fights. Dignitas, last pick, jungle. What's it gonna be?
Gragas would be interesting, but I don't think it's gonna be likely to be the answer here. You already do have Ahri mid. Fiddle might just be baiting us, but Fiddle's actually really strong with the buffs.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of Fiddle lately. I think this champion is actually kind of broken, but it is going to be Hecarim. So not something we've seen much of it at all this split. And they don't have like the most insane pairings with it. It's not like it's a Hecarim plus a speed up, which is often what you do kind of look for with these style of comps. So gonna be interested to see how this can actually perform here. Very much not an early game champ, but does give you incredible dive alongside Biofrost on the Rakan here. You have that primary engage, with Hecarim or the Rakan. The other follows up. Ahri's dashing in, Zeri's dashing in, Gnar to fall in. So it's really all about the dive here, it feels like, for Dignitas. Whereas 100 Thieves can play it more at range and utilize the pillar to slow you down, utilize the Alistar to disengage, and just kind of depend more on Abeddage and his consistent DPS.
I mean, Abbeddage's Azir was really what ended up destroying Evil Geniuses last week when we got to see their head-to-head. Yes, EG opted into taking more of a fight that they won early, but Abeddage was able to punish. And then you've got Huhi on a rope.
I'm going to go like Sunderer and things like that. You see a lot of Sunderers and Triforces and aggressive builds. But Chem Tank is generally the standard in pro play. So going to be interested to see if he feels like he needs to bring more damage. I don't really think that they need extra damage when you have Ahri, Zeri, and Gnar. So I think going tank makes sense.
All right, and as we're waiting on minions to spawn, Closer is sharing some thoughts on finally defeating Dignitas. Check it out.
Dignitas beat us always last bit, but we finally beat them in the first game, and second game I wanna beat them even more convincingly and just forget about all these like Dignitas beatings from the last year. So I'm gonna come in hot.
Coming in hot with the Trundle.
That's what. Oh yeah, baby! Trundle's here to give you the club.
Does have lethal tempo, so maybe he's going to look to slap him up. I mean you're going to win against Hecarim in the 1v1 for sure.
100% of the time. Hecarim walks up and tries to get his Q stacks going on you. You just take a big old bite out of crime.
In the crowd.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Now, where do you think we're going to see these junglers focus on here? Because Hecarim ganks, if he can get the angles for him, are incredibly scary.
Yeah, they are scary if you can get behind, especially with the early ghost, knock someone back in. So but I do think that Hecarim just kind of has to be, opportunistic ganks. It's I couldn't actually see.
That was insanity. I think he was sitting next to Kangas and he just slapped some stickers on his head.
All right, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, Hecarim's just looking to farm. In most games, Hecarim just wants to get levels, wants to power farm. But, if someone is really overextending, particularly in top lane, because you are clearing bot towards top, if Sylas is pushed up too far and you can get behind him, there is an opportunity to try to look to punish.
Hecarim with that phase rush too. I always like seeing this keystone on Hecarim. He is one of those champions that can play with a couple of different ones, but phase rush always feels like it just enables you to get back out more easily. Closer coming in, spawn, immediate flash. As soon as you see that, the gank is a success.
Yeah.
You automatically won. You can just walk right back away.
And we're seeing more and more of these little cheese ganks mixed in, which I just love. I mean, I think it's super smart to be able to force these people to actually ward at timings that they're not used to be able to play more respectful than they normally do. No one is expecting Trundle to actually just go red towards bot. This does mean Hecarim's way ahead on the farm, though. He's working on his 4th camp here, whereas Trundle is just starting up the 2nd, and Trundle does Krug slowly. So he's going to be way behind in the clear speed. So we'll see if 100 Thieves bot lane can really take advantage of the fact that Spawn is missing that flash now.
I mean, I always enjoy seeing players navigate around conventional thinking and the expectation that it creates. I mean, League of Legends, we're so far away from back in the early days where it really was a small indie game and everybody just kind of played whatever they thought was right and YOLO'd their builds and everything. This game is so well researched now. There's so much evidence behind everything in terms of what's most efficient, what's most effective, what is the winningest overall rate. And just being able to kind of subvert that and find your own way around it and take advantage of those expectations, I think is always a lot of fun.
It is. It's something that you really need to do if you want to be a top team, is to be unpredictable, right? To force people to play defensive when they shouldn't have to in these types of situations. XU doing 5 camps into top scuttle. We'll see if he wants to move down and try to double scuttle, but it looks like he's heading up to his Krugs for now. And to touch on the phase rush a little bit, the phase rush, I think, also particularly against Trundle is so strong because the Trundle pillar's slow. Makes it very difficult to actually disengage from those fights otherwise.
I mean, a lot of champions end up not having hard CC, but they have a slow that's borderline, right? Like if it's a super strong 80, 90% slow, phase rush is still just like, all right, well, I don't care. So you lose a big part of the interaction and the dynamic in that 1v1 normally. But our lane state here, kind of showing us how everything was going early. As Huhi roams up through the river there, he'll knock the shield off of the Scuttle Crab, just sort of smacking that around a little bit. You can see Closer coming down now to pick that up as Alistar slaps it for 50 damage at a time. This would take quite a while if we had to watch that.
Be about the amount of income, though, you get from like 5 minutes of laning, so would be kind of funny if you
Could
took
be
it.
worth, yeah.
Yeah. Ssumday, though, nice trades, and Hoon's in trouble as Meganar's going to expire here. He's trying to avoid the chain, but it lands.
Ssumday, oh, and he sidesteps the stun too. Ssumday just makes it look easy.
That was so well played there. Uses the chains to actually interrupt the hop from the Meganar. So he actually got him while he's in the air, so it cancels it. And then Ssumday's behind you. Hoon tries to flash over him, but you're just flashing from one side of the Sylas to the other. So Ssumday just continues the chase, gets the solo kill. That's a tough one because this matchup just gets worse. As you do go on, it is a rough one for sure. Post 6, when he gets that Meganar ult, is going to be very, very scary anytime Hoon is in mini.
Man, well, Ssumday, he's off to the races. He's got the Ionian boots of Lucidity. Melee into ranged matchup, tier 2 boots versus no boots is always terror. Let's take a look at the pro view and exactly how Ssumday navigated.
Yeah, I mean, Hoon is trying to actually keep the minions in between him and Ssumday, and then goes for the hop, but look at the timing. It's instantaneously interrupted on that. And then once he's behind you, the flash is not going to save you there. You're just flashing from one side of Ssumday to the other.
And I think it was pretty much a choice. Like, if you're Hoon, you know you die, but if you flash away, you at least get him to flash. So he's saying, all right, I'd rather both of us have no flash than both of us have it. Now Ssumday, jumped on by XU here. He dashes away. I love the discipline here to not use the stolen Hecarim ult defensively. He survives anyway, and now he'll be able to use that stolen Hecarim ulti once he comes back into lane.
It is interesting, right? I will say I'm a little bit surprised because he took so much damage. He's actually going to miss, what, 2 waves now?
Okay.
Right? So I actually don't like it. I'm going to be honest. I feel like he should have stolen it and insta-popped it. Plus, if you want to just hold on to an ulti here, then wouldn't it be better to just take the Gnar ult for the actual PvP combat, right? So it is a little bit surprising to me because I think he is going to lose that entire wave and his wave will bounce. So that is going to be negative like 15 CS probably when everything is all told.
This is why you and I have a good dynamic, because I'm like, dude, that was a Chad play. I like that. Look at him. He's just got nerves of steel. He don't flinch. And you're like, well, actually, he should have flinched. He should have flinched and like gone all the way back to his corner and healed up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
I like that.
If he has TP, I think it's totally makes sense, right? And in this case, maybe he's just going to come back and Hoon will try to kite him out in Mininar and just die because he's Hecarim ult. And in that case, then it's totally worth it. But if you steal the Hecarim ult, instantly ult defensively there, you're still full HP and you just farm the wave in that base.
XU coming down bottom here as there is a little bit of a scuffle, but it's not really going to draw his full attention as the control ward was there, so they had to clear that one out. You can see XU still hanging around down here, but now maybe pathing up towards the mid lane a little bit. Plus 700 golding for 100 Thieves. Ssumday goes in, but Hoon jumps right back underneath the protection of the turret. Ssumday, he might be scary on the Sylas, but he can't 100-0 the Gnar underneath the turret. And now Blue getting jumped on by Abbeddage, who summoned up some more soldiers. Blue keeps on kiting it out. One charge left of the ulti. Blue barely getting away there with 200 HP left. Abbeddage not losing a whole lot at all. He's feeling comfortable.
Yeah, none whatsoever. And Blue, not even comfortable with his jungler there to actually try to push out the wave. So he is going to go look for some honey fruits. We'll see if he actually found them. Does look like he did because he's up a little bit on health. So he's going to be able to grab the honey fruit, come back to lane. That does bail him out a little bit. Yeah, you can see that they just took it, highlighted by the observers. So we'll be able to pick up most of this farm. But, you know, it was well handled on the top side from Hoon. You know, knew that there's potential to dive, so it was actually really smart for him to go to Krugs and start charging up his Mega, because if you're almost Megaing out, it's very scary to look for that dive. And he's not really in much of a threat right now, because he did get CS advantage because Ssumday, you know, took all that damage, had to base with the wave coming to his tower. And also, Ssumday has the ulti steal almost back up, so he will have to be careful about that. But, you know, got that Hecarim ult down without any problems.
And it's pretty much exactly what you described. That CS lead is the 2 waves that crashed into the turret because he went back. So that's pretty much the entirety of the split up there. Of course, Ssumday still feeling fine because he got that solo first blood. 400 extra gold in your pocket always feels great. Lots of Ionian boots of Lucidity here in this game. Hecarim, Ahri, Sylas, Alistar, Rakan. Half of the roster has the same shoes. They're just really good on these playmaking types of champions, and we got a lot of playmakers.
Yeah, absolutely. And 100 Thieves up towards this top side. Going to be starting up Herald. They already moved their bot lane towards mid. They won't have to stay around any longer, and the wave was good for them. So this is actually a really good setup here from 100 Thieves. The timing was great. Mid gets pushed out. Bot wave is going to be caught. And Trundle is around here up top, so they're going to be able to push this in, no problem, and fix that wave. So 100 Thieves really lose nothing for actually going for the Herald, and will potentially be able to grab themselves quite a bit of gold. Of course, Dig trying to trade back now on that bottom side, trying to look to grab that dragon, but Closer just going to continue to farm away.
Ssumday not afraid to trade aggressively, even if it means taking a couple of turret shots. He's just trying to get this wave shoved up and shoved in. Does have to back away now. There is the threat of being Mega Gnar'd back into the turret range. Doesn't want to end up in one of those nasty situations where Gnar clears the wave, throws you under there, and just ends up getting the surprise kill. As XU is trying to steal back some resources from the enemy jungle here on the Hecarim. He does still maintain that farm lead that he got from the very beginning of the game thanks to Closer's interference in bottom. So XU will keep on farming up those. Both of our junglers are in the bottom, or are in the 100 Thieves side of the jungle, excuse me, as XU might be looking to see if there's a chance to do anything down here, but not really. FBI can just clear out the wave. This is part of the strength of Sivir and just what this champion can provide. If you don't want the wave to be in front of you, the wave won't be there.
Yep, absolutely. Going to be able to clear that out so easily. Did go for a Cold-Start as well, so very much looking towards scaling, not really threatened in that 2v2. So Cold-Start, I think, is a smart one, to be sure. 100 Thieves just kind of playing a slow, steady early game. They're looking good. We can see XU is actually going for Sheen, so very likely is going to be Sunder, one of those more aggressive builds. You know, I was kind of expecting Chem Tank because that is so popular in Pro. Just kind of going for those more tanky builds, but wants to be able to have more threat, I think, on the back line here if he can get there.
Right, because if you're just standing in the front fighting Alistar, fighting Trundle, you know that you're going to lose that fight if you're up against Sivir and you're up against Azir, especially with the Sivir buffs that you were talking about in the previous game, just how powerful that scaling can be now. Because of the lethality, poke builds are out the window, because crit is back. That's a very scary situation. XU knows that Hecarim fighting that other front line isn't going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, just going to be trying to be a dive buddy here, you know, with the Rakan, with the Gnar, with the Ahri, get in that back line, try to knock down this Sivir, but will be tough for sure. The Closer still just holding on to the Herald now. They're going to want to try to get this out, obviously, before the plates do finish, and a lot of 100 Thieves members moving up here around mid, so might just be looking for a mid crash for a couple plates.
Yep.
But, you know, do still have a couple minutes here to drop it.
And no dragon for another 3 minutes either. It was Dignitas taking that first one, like you mentioned. Back up top, Ssumday and Huhi just trading back and forth a bit. Huhi up to that 20 CS lead now, as Ssumday just retreats back into the river. All right, he's just going to keep on walking out here. The Executioner's calling from Huhi. I love the early purchase on this because of how effective it is. Sylas' trading pattern depends on the Kingslayer heal. Cutting that massive heal in half does a ton to just make what would normally feel like a bad matchup feel more manageable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, healing debuffs are still really strong. Of course, they have been nerfed, so it's down to 25% now, you know, so it's not as crazy as it used to be.
Right.
But it's still, it's a lot of AD. It's an efficient item. There's also a Trundle on the table, so I fully agree, right? Like, there's going to be heal to cut. For sure in this game, but has Mega Gnar stolen? Can Ssumday get him back?
Oh, Ssumday tries to. He grabs the heal there, but he's still down to 200 HP. Ssumday, he sidesteps the wallop. He dashes away, and Huhi gets outplayed for the second time.
Oh, Huhi goes in for it. Ssumday looked like he bit off way too much there, but Closer's behind him, so Huhi just says, all right, I'm going to die anyway, so I'm going to go for the solo kill here, trying to go in, grab that kill, not quite able to get it. You know, Ssumday, I think, overestimating how much damage he was going to do. You know, Huhi got a really good trade on him here. You have been poking him down, you know, cutting down that healing constantly. He's about to go Mega, and in goes Ssumday, and it's this wallop stun there, right into the wall, lands the boulder as well. Notice how he also stepped back out of the turret range. So yes, Ssumday flashes forward, scoops him backwards, but he didn't actually have turret aggro at that point, so just walking forward, great sidestep comes through. He canceled the auto.
Yep.
Not able to get a second one as he flashes back. The wall-up sidestep making the difference here. The boulder toss was going to come through right as he died. That one hurts.
It does, man, but Ssumday, he outplays it. He navigates it correctly. He saves the flash for the last minute. Huhi caught him by surprise there, Mega Gnaring him into the wall first, just like you said. Like, that, I think, was the big, wait a second, what went wrong here type of moment. But Ssumday keeping his composure, still able to find the kill there. The gold between the two, it actually still favors Huhi by about 200 because of the farm lead. This is how important proper CSing and wave management is.
Absolutely, and I mean, it would be very, very different, you know, if he was able to actually get that kill there. You can start to really push ahead. Gonna be interesting to see if Huhi is just going for kind of standard Triforce. That is my expectation. But you can see no vision really on this side of the map. You know, where's the closest ward? The closest ward to top lane for Hoon is literally this ward in the bottom river. So he's got nothing in this entire section of the map. There's nothing here. So
My closest top lane ward is bottom lane.
that's the top lane experience sometimes, man. So it can be scary up there. It is very, very dark, but you don't want to allow Sylas to freeze because his advantage, as you rightly said, is the farm, right? So he's trying to keep pushing, trying to keep that advantage slightly ahead in gold now. But FBI and Abbeddage very far ahead of their counterparts, which is the reason that they are, 1.6k ahead here in the FTX total gold. Grabbing a dragon for themselves as well. That just ties it up one apiece. But Ssumday's been getting chunked out, and I have to say, Hoon has been navigating this very well. Yes, he's gotten solo killed twice, but he's actually not falling apart after that, right? He's been able to keep it pretty even.
1,500 gold lead. Even Drake's now, as 100 Thieves had total control over that, so they can secure that one for themselves. Means nobody's going to be applying a lot of Drake pressure here very early on. Entirely plausible and possible for either team to just say, hey, we're not in a good spot for the next one. Or even if we are, we'd rather take something else, right? Like, that's the decision tree that you can take when you're not under any sort of timer for those dragons.
Absolutely, the pressure is completely off. Closer is going to be going the tank style build here, so going to be playing that more defensive frontline role. Frostfire Gauntlet here. You just ult up. Whoever's kind of tankiest on the other side. It could also be one of the reasons that XU did decide to go for more of a damage style build instead of chem tank, because you are playing against the Trundle.
And I think it might have been you that I was having this conversation with in a previous week, where as Trundle, you feel better about going for damage builds the tankier your opponents are. If they have a true tank like a Sejuani, hey man, give me an Infinity Edge. I don't care. I've got 400 armor anyway as soon as I just take a big old bite out of this bacon. But when you only have a Gnar that builds Bruiser, when you only have a Hecarim that builds Bruiser, you're not getting that same level of incredible defensive stats, so you got to make up for it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just depend on the ult to keep him alive as much. So it is going to be that tankier member. They also just have so much DPS in this build with Azir, Sivir alone, and then Sylas up on the top side.
Right.
The Mythics starting to come through here for pretty much everybody. Everyone on the 100 Thieves side does have it. Hoon is in mini Gnar. This is where it gets really scary. If you do get caught by that stolen Mega Gnar ult, because Ssumday is here. He's waiting for Hoon to push forward, and he's going to look for it.
There it is. Hoon takes a little bit of damage there, slammed back into the wall. That's the AP ratio you are talking about, and that is a third solo kill.
Yeah, gets him. Made that one look easy. Those previous fights were with Hoon and Mega, which is actually the strong point kind of for this champion. But when you get caught and you are stuck in mini, it is so rough to deal with. Low patience on that Herald, but they should be able to handle it properly and actually finish this off without it resetting. Closer does not want to move it around and mess that up. So it's going to be another Herald going their way. Plates are down, but of course you could use this for the next dragon, or honestly you could just go drop it top right now and probably take the full tower. Remember, Sylas' passive does work on the turret, so you get that bonus damage from it. And Closer up here will drop Herald, so they're going to look to crack it. I think they were actually going to try to hold on to it, but then he spotted XU coming up, so decides, all right, not worth risking. Let's just make sure we get this down.
Exactly. Just take the advantages where you can take them. Guarantee that you're getting the first turret. Build that gold lead up to almost 3,000. And now, your 3 kills Sylas, that is back to being only 2 waves down. He's unleashed. He can stay up there if he wants to. He can roam around. He can look to make plays. This is not Everfrost Sylas, so a little bit less playmaking than that version, but more damage with the Leandries.
Yep. Gives you a little bit better poke with the Q as well. Get that burn constantly in onto the Gnar. The CDR passive, the Mythic passive, is also really nice. Getting 5 ability haste for every additional item completed there. Something that Sylas does love. You talked about all the CDR boots being bought up. It's kind of the same school of thought here. Looks like he's just going Zhonya's second, or at the very least, going into more CDR. It's fine to sometimes just sit on the stopwatch and go another second item and then build that up later. But my guess is with the components he has, it's probably just going to be a rush towards Zhonya's.
Right. The nice part is you can sort of still do either one, right? Like you can, if you end up having a team fight where you get multiple kills and you want to go to a bigger, badder CDR item, well, hey, cool. Fiendish Codex can build into plenty of stuff. But if you break that stopwatch and things are feeling bad, get targeted a couple times, well, bring on the Zhonyas. But Dignitas are trying to secure this bottom side Scuttle Crab here. They're going to grab that one. Abbeddage looking for the angle here. He jumps in. He throws out the wall. He doesn't get nothing with it. Has to flash out, back away. XU comes in. Ghost ult used out of him, but that's about it. An attempt, but one that doesn't work.
Yeah, not going to get much of anything there. Could have gone for the flash ulti, instead hells onto it, and then has to flash the Hecarim ulti because he doesn't want to actually get turned around on. So down to some, not that big of a deal, but still nice little attempt.
And the nice part is, though, that Summoner spell will be gone for the upcoming Drake fight if Dignitas want to take that fight. I am honestly not predicting that they do want to take the fight because, again, it's only 1-to-1 Drake score. They're down 3,000 gold. You kind of just throw away the entire game if you lose a big fight there at that Drake. So I'm curious if Dig are going to go for this.
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting, the same thing as you, that they won't. Unless they have really, really good setup, I do think it's pretty difficult. And Sylas is going to be such a terror, right? There's lots of good ultis for Sylas to steal. We talked a lot about the Gnar ult, of course, but Rakan and Hecarim ult are both also really, really good. Especially if you are going to go Zhonya second, you can kind of fly in and be, a primary engage source there. So that can be very, very difficult for Dignitas' backline to deal with. And FBI has just been chilling, farming the entire game. So it's exactly what you want to be doing as the Sivir. Dig, though, in the area, are moving down. Hoon has Mega ready, and he has TP. He's TPing behind. They're going to try to fight.
They're coming in. They're looking to go for this. It's going to be a smite fight. It's stolen away. Nicely done from XU, but where's the fight going to head? Abbeddage trying to run away as Blue does the same, wanting to disengage. Ssumday stuck in the pit, wants to try to stand and fight if he has to, but now he can get out as well. Honestly, that could not have gone better for Dignitas. They swoop in, XU's got the better smite, and nobody dies.
Yeah, they're able to take that away. No one goes down, so nicely done by Dig. They had the flanking TP there from Hoon, had the Mega Gnar ready, but wasn't able to find really a big Mega Gnar. So the fight just kind of dissipates. Both teams are going to be backing it up. FBI has got to have his second item on base. Yeah, so he has the PD ready. We can see it's probably going to be a death cap or something like that. Second, we can watch this one more time. It's this TP flank coming in from behind here. The early ulti drop by Abbeddage, I'm not sure exactly what that was looking for Blue, I think. Then Hoon tries to come in and actually tries to ult them against the wall. Against that Azir wall and in the corner. FBI had already flashed over the top, though, so FBI is out to safety, only connects on Huhi, which is not going to be that much of a threat, and then 100 Thieves just kind of licking their wounds, exiting out of the bottom side of that fight.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I got to applaud Dig for that. Like I say, I was expecting no challenge, but instead, they recognize that they can go after it, they find a way out. Hourglass now completed on Ssumday up there with that Sylas. You already mentioned the Phantom Dancer coming online there for Sivir. What's the game plan here for Dignitas? Like, are you waiting on anything specific? Where's the moment where you decide to go? Because they can't sacrifice things forever, and it's 100 Thieves that are making plays, picking up standing gold here on these outer turrets.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's just going to be about finding the right engage, right? And the difficulty here is that they don't have vision, right? There's nothing in this quadrant of the map now, right? They have a few wards up in this area around that Baron. Well, a lot of wards, I should say. So it looks like that's where they're kind of focused on fighting around Baron if 100 Thieves were going to start that up. Barring that, I think they're just going to chill. They're going to continue to try to keep farming and look for windows to engage. They need to find perfect engages from Biofrost and XU with flanks from the Gnar, or they realistically can't win the fight. So it's kind of very conditional. So as long as 100 Thieves is still denying vision and kind of keeping their battle lines, tracking where that Gnar could be, they're in a really, really good spot, because I don't think 100 Thieves are ever going to lose a 5v5 if Dignitas is just running straight at them. It has to be like multiple angles, Rakan coming from one side, Gnar coming from the other side, and really try to find those pincer moves where everyone's on top of FBI and you can kind of kill them.
And that's why this game is so scary for Dignitas, because you have Ahri into Azir, right? If you're the Ahri team, you normally want to be ahead early, but FBI is trying to get away. Hoon comes in, slams them into the wall. 100 Thieves cannot protect their AD carry, and the shutdown goes over to XU. Dignitas want to find some more. Blue goes after him, he forces out a flash. Dig won't get anything else, but there's what you're looking for, Isaac. There's your engage, there's your priority target.
Yeah, they find a window there. FBI just kind of walking up a little bit dangerously, did not have his flash available, so they're able to get in onto FBI, take him down. A good engage from XU. The follow-up was there from Hoon. He was ready with a Mega. Unfortunately for them, it is just the one kill. They do get a couple sums, though. Oh, no. Are they aware of this? There's no vision on the pit. Azir is going to kill this so fast. With FBI dead, I don't know that they know what's going on. Biofrost should check now. Oh, no. Is he not going to check?
He's just chilling. Okay, there they finally see it, but it's already at 4,000. The jungler's nowhere. Yeah, XQ's on the other side of the map, but 100 Thieves doesn't know that. Ooh. So 100 Thieves backs off.
Yeah, 100 Thieves not willing to actually commit to what they believe could be a flip, right? I don't think they had eyes, as you said, on XU. And even just trying to take it in the face of these other Dignitas members they did see would be quite dangerous. So they were willing to look for a sneak. They weren't willing to commit to a fight there. They will back it up. They're probably just waiting for FBI to complete his next item. He's got 2 of the 3 components for his IE, clearing away. Shadow Flame second there for Abbeddage. So Going to be really ramping up the damage now. Azir on 3 items is really kind of where that starts to get out of control. Dignitas could look to fight prior to the 3-item mark because they are starting to hit their second while the components are through for the third items for 100 Thieves, but they haven't yet completed them. So it might be their best chance here to just kind of fight at this next dragon, try to get that third dragon, move towards Soul Point before they fall too far behind. Because I think if they chill and allow Sivir and Azir to get 3, then they are not really going to be in good shape.
Right, then you have Sivir and Azir constantly pressuring Baron. Then you have a situation that is incredibly scary and almost impossible to avoid, just slamming your face into a 5v5. Dignitas seem to be on a similar train of thought as they are taking up positions here in this bottom side river. They're getting themselves ready. Hoon's up in the top side, but he does have the unleashed teleport. The big thing is going to be making sure they have the Gnar bar in the right spot for whenever the fight breaks out.
And right now he's got no rage and he is in mini Gnar, so he's got to go charge it up on this next wave. I think that's why he is up there. But this means you lose river control because 100 Thieves are already 5-stack. They're moving in here. Blue trying to find an angle there. He can flank from below. But there's also no TP wards. Like, so I don't even know if they should try this, to be honest with you, anymore. Their vision is just way too bad.
They're going for it. The TP's coming in from bottom side. Hoon's going to look to make his way up here. The dragon's already gone, though. So if Dignitas go after this, they're going in for something that's not even an objective play. Blue goes over the Everfrost, finds out the closer. Abbeddage having a flash away. He throws out the soldiers. Hoon's going to be jumped on now. 100 Thieves collapsing. They've split Dignitas, and they've split him in half.
Yeah, they crushed through the bottom side of that fight. Huhi saw the flank coming, was there to meet the Gnar. And 100 Thieves all collapse down towards that bottom side. They take him out. And now it's just 3 members of Dignitas remaining here. 100 Thieves going to march straight over to the Baron and look to take this. We'll see if Blue, Biofrost, and Spawn could do anything about it.
It felt a little desperate from Dignitas. The objective was already gone.
Yeah.
The positioning wasn't perfect. They played it anyway, and it backfires in such a spectacular manner. Now it's 100 Thieves. 5 men versus 3 on the map. They're going after the Baron. Dignitas gonna walk forward, try to check this one. Ssumday with a stolen Rakan ultimate. He gets ignited. Still just maintaining his position here, looking to protect the team. That was really bad, but it's okay because the Baron is still secured by 100 Thieves.
Yeah, they're gonna grab it. I think somebody thought he could maybe mess with them a little bit more and then kind of dash over the wall, use his zonies and stuff like that, but look like he got tagged by a charm maybe, and does end up just getting burst down, so bit of a mistake from him to be sure, but they still grab the Baron. They are very far ahead. The shutdown gold does go over to Spawn, so that is very nice. That actually gets him a lot closer to his IE, but you know, close is maybe not enough as all these items are coming through now on the 100 Thieves side.
Yeah, that's still Ssumday's first death of the game. Yeah, it looks goofy when he ends up overplaying his hand like that, but still they get Baron, they're fine. Here's another look at the fight.
Huhi just played this so well. I mean, he knew exactly where Hoon was coming from. There's no flanking ward, so it was on minions, right? So he sees him down there, he just punts him away. It is a pretty good Mega Gnar here, though, from Hoon, you know, catching multiple members there. Unfortunately, you know, you look at that Azir wall at the top of your screen, it was right there, and the rest of their squad was not able to actually get around it, right? So the 3-man squad from Dig couldn't actually get down there. Blue was not there, Spawn was not there. It was just XU and Hoon off on their own. The rest of the team couldn't follow up, so they get turned on and they get burst down.
Plus, considering Dignitas have not taken a single turret this game, that tier 1 turret for 100 Thieves made it so Hoon and XU aren't even able to try to kite away back towards enemy territory to buy some more time to regroup. They're just stuck between a rock and a hard place. Well done from 100 Thieves. Again, I thought it was a little audacious from Dig to go for that in the first place.
I think so, too. I think without any vision, it's just second dragon. It actually doesn't even matter.
Let it go. The ice song from Disney. Right?
Frozen?
Yes, that one. That's
the ice song.
I was close, man. You knew what I was talking about.
I did know what you were talking about.
All right. So now that they, now they're going to have to let everything go. What?
Yeah. I just think, is that credit to you or credit to me? You know?
We're going to share the credit. That's part of being a duo.
That's
buddy.
true. Okay,
we work together. We lift each other up.
Yeah.
Well, 100 Thieves are about to...
Much like another Disney classic.
All right, teleport's coming in. Dignitas.
Here we go.
They're deploying Blue on the flank, but 100 Thieves is ready for the counter flank coming in from Abbeddage here. Oh, Blue! Oh, no! That's not where you want to be. Oh, but Biofrost might just end up going to the same place. Ssumday coming in from the flank. Spawn trying to scare him off a little bit. That's a 1-for-0 on the side of 100 Thieves. The Dignitas plays, you can kind of see what they're going for, but the execution isn't there.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the game is pretty out of hand, so They're trying to look for something special. You're trying to find that flank engage. Not able to find it now. Closer going to flash out. It's just XU in. He's going to get burst down.
He gets baited by the low health on the targets of 100 Thieves. He's seeing Abeddage. He's seeing Closer. He's seeing maybe there's a chance, but there just isn't. The flash away from Closer means he just delivers another kill into the hands of the Thieves, who have taken the bottom lane inhibitor and nearly destroyed the tier 3 turret in the mid lane as well. The Baron just now expires, so they recognize there's nothing else to have here. Go back, shop, spin the gold.
Yeah.
And here was the attempt from Dig that just got thwarted.
Yep, I mean, Closer's just kind of playing bodyguard, and everyone is collapsing on the flanker. Look at Closer. He's just like, you gotta kite back, you gotta kite back. He just pops the ulti on Hoon and just kind of walks at spawn. He's not actually committing to the play, but he's pushing spawn back so he can't actually follow up. At the same time, he had a Trundle pillar on the left side that was kind of pushing back XU, so 100 Thieves did a really good job noticing the TP immediately, backing off, zoning out the rest of the four-man squad, and just collapsing on that TP, and that's what they've been able to pull off both of those last couple of fights. And it makes it look really, really easy when it's well executed like that.
Yeah, 100 Thieves working together nicely as a unit here. 6,500 gold up. Drakes are all tied. Drakes are the last thing on Dignitas' mind at this point, though. We did have a nice state where we were talking about will they, won't they with the Drakes, challenging for the one that we thought they wouldn't and being able to steal it away successfully, and then the next one backfiring. So we sort of got to see both the heaven and hell scenarios going for those. Unfortunately, the hell scenario had a lot more weight to it as Dignitas are now just kind of trapped in their own base. You can see Hoon pushing out top a little bit with the opportunity, recognizing that most of 100 Thieves would be probably closer to the Drake, securing that one for themselves. But Dig have their backs against the wall now. They're kind of needing a throw here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get outscaled as well, right? So it's like, I think you have to look now to your X Factor champs. You have to look for engage champs, right? And it's pretty much like, okay, Biofrost, we need the best engage ever, right? Like, you've got to find everyone, you know, hit them all with the ulti, all with the knockup. Everyone piles in. If you can get a kill or two to start the fight, you do have a chance. It is 6K. It's a massive lead, but it's not like 20K, right? It's, you know, it's if you get it, if you get a kill,
as much as 20.
If you get a kill, you can kind of even it out, right? That's my point.
Okay.
You look at the total gold. It's like, well, Ssumday has 12,000 gold. If you kill someone off instantly, you have a chance.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Dig is going to be looking for. But yeah, it's tough because 100 Thieves has just been doing such a good job of actually kind of checking off all the boxes. There is one flanking ward behind them, but like everywhere they go, they just clear all the vision, right? There's a pink ward here, that's something. There's a pink ward here, but like look how thorough they've been in this section of the map. When they were playing the Dragon, they got 4 pink wards there covering, and they just kind of constantly move forward. They sweep out behind them. They make sure that Dig doesn't have any opportunity to find these plays because Dig, if you see them, it's so easy to shut down what they're trying to do.
Yeah, this is very tough for them to make those movements and find that sort of a surprise with it still having the element of surprise.
Yep.
I think that we're kind of just seeing 100 Thieves waited out here for Baron. They want to make sure that this next push is the last push, and so that's what I expect our final battle to be, is whatever Dignitas considers their winningest chance. Is it fighting them at the Baron, or is it trying to get them to dive the turrets and then kill them once they have the Baron?
Probably Baron. It's probably Baron. I mean, I don't think you want to give it up if you can help it. And they will be taking more damage. You know, if they can get blue to death cap, IE is already done there for spawn. So death cap would be a really big spike. He needs 500 more gold. I don't know if he's gonna get it.
Yeah, that's the Baron's alive right now.
If they can feed him a couple different waves, maybe he can kind of get it with jungle camps and stuff. But 100 Thieves do not have to wait. They can just kind of start this up at any time. It's a really good ward placed outside the pit, though. I love that ward right there because it doesn't actually get caught by this pink, and it doesn't get caught by a sweeper in the pit. So, you know, you really do have to have a pink in the pit and a pink outside the pit to fully cover that take. And 100 Thieves have not done that yet. So at the very least, Dig will have an idea if this does get started up.
That's one of the ones to remember for your own solo queue game.
Absolutely.
That's what people talk about how a lot of stuff in pro play is different from solo queue, but that is one of the things that you can absolutely use in your own game to get an edge and avoid those situations that give your opponents a false sense of security.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, people almost always around objectives place their pink ward in the pit. They don't place it at the entrance of the pit. So you're going to be able to sneak some of those out. Closer now, though, going by with the sweeper. We'll find one ward. We'll see if it lasts long enough to find the other.
Nope, he walked right by it.
Yeah, and it's so well placed, man. There's actually a pink ward here and a pink ward here. So they're both not actually catching that ward, and Dignitas do know that it's starting up. 100 Thieves knows that they know, though, because they have Ssumday and Huhi kind of bodyguarding here. They are going to pull off. They don't want to 50-50 this, but Abbeddage has lost about a third of his health, so it's not too insignificant.
90 seconds now also on the Drake. If 100 Thieves want to play it even more slowly, they can go for Soul instead, because that objective doesn't do any meaningful damage to your actual champion.
Absolutely.
And then once you have Soul, then you can force Baron even harder.
The big problem though, Hoon is in trouble.
no.
He's got
Hoon.
flash this.
Is this it?
Okay.
Not quite. Hoon trying to get away, but the crit takes him down. 5v4. I think 100 Thieves just run this in.
Yeah, that's gonna do it. There's 0 armor on Hoon. It's all magic resist. He's got Wit's End, he's got Force Nature, he's got Merc Treads. They're gonna try something here.
Abeddage gets jumped on by XU, but he cannot get anything else done. Biofrost wants to go in, but he must immediately go right back out. 2 inhibitors taken down, mid and bottom lane gone. 100 Thieves backing away now. They don't want to overstay with their mid laner down at 25% HP. They're going to recall everybody as soon as they do. The Dragon Soul's going to be on the map. I'd say it's bad for Dig, but I've been saying it's bad for Dig for the last 10 minutes, so
Yeah.
it's still bad for Dig.
It is still bad for Dig. 100 Thieves playing it slow and steady, not taking any risks whatsoever, just looking to clean this one up. Grinding out Dig, forcing them to be the one to make the plays. Because 100 Thieves have all the scaling, as was evidenced by the damage right there from FBI. I really felt like Hoon had to flash the combo, but of course, he thought he was going to be safe. Does have quite a bit of health, but no armor against a Sivir that fed this late in the game. You just die so fast.
You might as well be an AD carry,
yeah.
right? If you're mini Gnar trying to jump away from that, you pretty much are AD carry sturdiness, and you're going to die like an AD carry would, getting free fired on by the enemy one. Drake is up. And it's just FBI soloing that one down. They know that Dignitas can't even enter into the area. So there's Infernal Soul. Attack, explosion, bonus. Kaboom, go the Dignitas health bars. 100 Thieves find him. XU, he's alone in the river, but he's a pretty fast horse.
House of the Dragon Soul.
Huhi trying to escape a...
Okay.
All right, never mind. Okay,
Okay.
Okay, all right, double kill, nicely done. At first I was like, oh, Huhi, maybe he got caught. Nope. Nope.
Turns out 35 minutes of farming on Sivir gets some big dividends there.
Turns out it works out. 100 Thieves. All right, now that they've got a 5v3 and 2 inhibitors already down beforehand, they've got the minion wave coming up behind them in mid. No, they don't have Baron, but I really don't think they need it. You've got the fed Sivir, you've got the fed Azir. 100 Thieves are in control. XU goes in, but he is immediately just rejected by 100 Thieves, as now Ssumday still looking to keep on keeping on with a stolen Ahri ultimate. Oh, he just picks him up so easy. Shut down onto spawn as well. Blue goes golden, and that'll make a nice trophy for 100 Thieves as they take the win in 36 minutes.
Clean control game there from 100 Thieves. 13-2. They get the soul, they get the Barons. They were in full control of this one. It felt like pretty much all game long. The Sylas pick was really big for them, though. 3 solo kills, I believe, in that one for Ssumday. Sylas, such a strong answer in a Gnar. Not something we've been seeing much of whatsoever, even against all these blind pickable Gnars. You can see how it can go bad, because Hoon was actually trading back pretty well, but the power in the all-ins with this pick is just nothing to mess with, and Ssumday made it look really, really easy on it. That bot, Abbeddage and FBI at the time, they needed to farm up to scale up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, a super fast win, but it was very, very controlled, and they were playing a very scaling comp.
And again, I respect Dignitas challenging 100 Thieves for those Drakes when it's a moment where we were like, will they do it or not, right? We legitimately were asking that question to see if they would go for it. 2 times they went for it. 1 time it worked beautifully with XU being able to run in there, beat closer at the smite, take it away and disengage. I can understand based on that outcome going forward again the second time, especially with what you were talking about with, hey, if they hit 3 items and you're still on 2 items, it's done. Unfortunately, the execution was too slow. They weren't all on the same page. 100 Thieves, especially considering they're one of our better teams and this Dignitas roster is just put together with these 5 this week, they're going to be more coordinated. And as soon as they had the window, the game was done.
Absolutely. And I think 100 Thieves really showed their class in being able to actually recognize what Dignitas would have to try to do to win and shutting it down, right? Because they were so good at denying vision. So a lot of these TP flanks look bad because they didn't have good wards to actually do it, because 100 Thieves had cleared them all out, right? They're dropping multiple pinks in the brushes. They're sweeping forward. They're clearing out everything around them. And every single time a TP flank was coming through, I don't think there was any that weren't noticed this entire game. Everyone was marked. Everyone was turned on. They just were so well coordinated with it, and it made it look like Dig had no chance.
100 Thieves are they're heating up a little bit. We were
They
seeing
are.
some wild and wacky stuff earlier on in the split, but I feel like they're sort of week by week sort of
9-3.
finding that footing a lot better. They want it, which is exactly where you want to see them being as we're getting closer to playoffs, as we're now getting into the meat of the second round robin, right? Like, this is a team that can be very scary. This is a team who's got a banner hanging up right there. It's lit up. We have a light on it. It's cool. And this is a squad that could be back in that form and could be incredibly intimidating for anybody to go up with.
Absolutely. I mean, the top team is definitely going to have to be on the watch out for 400 Thieves. They already took down EG, and they're looking like a big threat for the championship.
And now that they have claimed their victory, we're going to join La Tigress and Ssumday for our Verizon post-game interview.